Once again, we have the privilege of talking to Rabbi Leib Tropper in our ongoing series of Shoel and Meishiv. This is number 14. Rabbi Leib, a question which has come up is, what is the position, what was the position of Hagoyin Harav El Yoshev Zatzal regarding somebody that's a Machal Shabbos, somebody that didn't keep Shabbos, in regard to reciting Sheva Brachos, either at a Kostner or at one of the meals?
Somebody asked this question to Rabbi Yoshev, Rabbi Yoshev, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, and Rabbi Yoshev responded. He said he was very upset. I'm just going to tell you what he responded, and I'm not. Please shouldn't reflect. He's a Goyin Hador, he's a Pesach Hador, and please watch our mouth when he asked. He said to the person he responded, he said, "Would you give Sheva Brachos to a Goy?" So the person said, "What do you mean? I'm not sure what the Rav means." He says, "Machal Shabbos dinik a Goy." Shulchan Aruch says, you can't give him a bracha. Very clear and short.
Okay. What about the halakha, Rabbi, pertaining to somebody utilizing a microphone to say the Sheva Brachos or the Stamazim during the week? Of course, we're not talking about Shabbos, but the idea of using a microphone so that people are hearing the Sheva Brachos coming through a microphone. Is there a halachic problem with that?
Actually, if there are 10 other people who are listening to the Sheva Brachos who can hear it without the microphone, let's say 10 people up in the front row who could hear it without the microphone, there's no problem for him to say it with the microphone. But that only helps for Sheva Brachos. That only helps for Sheva Brachos and not for regular Zimun. If you have 3 people being Mizamin and the person's using a Sheva Brachos, using a microphone to make a zimun, then it's not acceptable. As Subsaka Moran Rabbi Yoshev, Zech Tzadik Livracha.
Another question, Rabbi, that has been asked. Say there's a particular Baal Tshuva upon whom there is an assumption that she had not been with another man. How many days of Sheva Brachos now? That she's done tshuva and she's getting married. How many days of Sheva Brachos would she participate in?
So it seems that many poskim say it's required to ask her, was she with someone? If she actually says no, she has 7 days like everybody else. But it is required to ask her for that question because there are poskim that allow. There was a shaila with some kohen marrying a balas tshuva, and many times a kohen marrying a balas tshuva, and Rabbi Lechatchila told people, they should ask and find out. So it was funny when it came out after the chasana. Rabbi didn't tell them to ask because he says, "Well, you can't believe her because then you're making yourself into a Russia by saying she did. So therefore you can't believe it because you would find every heter in the world not to have to get divorced once they were married."
Another question which was asked, a sensitive question as well. 2 people who prior had not been Shomer Torah mitzvahs, and they had lived together as though they were a man and wife, and then they both gratefully became observant together, and both became bona fide Baalei Tshuva. What's the halakha regarding their Sheva Brachos together?
So there is a machlokes, the Chassam Sofer and the Leib Yehuda. I'm sorry, the Shmuel, the son of the Leib Yehuda. The Chassam Sofer holds that Lamaisi wasn't married, and therefore he's like everybody else. They have Sheva Brachos. Shmuel ben Leib Yehuda, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, writes that Vibalt were Toyim Tam Bia, meaning they were Toyim Tam intimacy. They felt what intimacy meant. Therefore, they were like chassan. They don't have the same simcha anymore, and therefore you can only have a simcha of 1 day. I guess one would have to ask his local rav how to handle the situation. People ask me, I refer to a certain posek that told me that it was okay for them to go have Sheva Brachos, but I guess every case is different. You have to be careful. Sensitivities are involved with that, so that's important to consider when you paskin the shaila. Okay. There is a machlokes, and there was one other question.
One other question that we wanted to address.
I think the question that I remember that I told you that I was asked was, does one have to? Does a woman who was with someone else mechuyev to tell her chassan that she was with, and Rabbi Moshe says simply, Rabbi Moshe is quoted as saying, didn't say this, Rabbi Moshe is quoted as saying, there's no reason why she has to tell her chassan, other than, if he's a kohen, that's another story. But if he's not a kohen, there's no reason not to say, not to tell. No reason to tell.
No reason to tell.
All right.
Don't ask, don't tell. All right, Rabbi Leib, thank you very much, Rabbi Leib Tropper, once again in our continuing series. This was number 14 of Shoel and Meishiv.
Thank you so much.